for the time today. Welcome to the call. If you don't mind giving us kind of a quick snapshot of, the last 4 weeks for your team, and then what you're most looking forward to coming up in February from your squad.
Sure. I think we are gaining some consistency. I think probably the last 4 games has been our best stretch of basketball, and unfortunately in this league, it's only resulted in 1 win. But we're playing better, and obviously one of the bright spots right now has been a play of our freshman and Justin Brown, and in particular David Collins, who is our second in conference play, our second leading scorer, leading us in assists. Getting to the free throw line 5 times a game, rebounding the ball, and the one thing that we have kind of moved to is we put him on the other team's best perimeter player as well. So we're asking a lot of him. There's no doubt about that. And our upperclassmen, when they play well, especially the 3 grad players that we have in Jiggets and Banks and Terrence, we're a much different team because their experience coupled with a good performance puts us in a good position. We've been inconsistent in terms of exactly what we need to do with being successful in this league. Yesterday I thought we had a very good defensive effort but didn't rebound the ball well. I thought we played well against Houston in particular in the second half. But their physicality around the basket, not just rebounding, but just scoring around the rim, hurt us. So, I think we're definitely making progress, and with the second half of the season, look to continue to do so.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach, and we'll open it up now to questions from any media members.
As a reminder, it is star 1 to ask a question. We'll take our first question from Paul Solentrop from Wichita State Strategic Communications. Please go ahead.
Brian, could you talk a little bit about your views or concerns or whatever about the immediate eligibility proposals for transfers that we're hearing more and more about, please?
Sure. I do think, in the last couple weeks, some of the momentum is being driven with the coaching change situation, which I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago no one would even have thought of. I do think again it's the immediate eligibility regarding what I think some people are calling the free agency of being able to transfer whenever you want and be able to play immediately. As I said, I think that's a slippery slope. I think we have to be cautious if that's something that we want to, move to it. You also got to be cautious about if you're going to put a grade point average with that as well. Just again, because there's different ways to manipulate that. It is an interesting concept regarding the coaching change in terms of if coaches release of his leaves or if a coach leaves. Does everybody on that team now have the ability to transfer to the school of their choice? The one-time transfer where now you're eligible to play right away. I think that's gaining some momentum, and I do think that has some merit. Because I think we'd all like to say that in a vacuum, these student athletes, irregardless of the sport, are choosing the university second and the coaching staff, in particular the head coach. I mean, the university first and the coach second, but I don't think that's reality either. So, the only thing I'd be cautious of is to have, a knee-jerk reaction and, make a decision without really, really diving into it in terms of all the ramifications. So it's going to be an interesting couple months with college basketball when it comes to that for sure. I think there's a uniformity, hope that all sports are under the same guidelines. Right now, that's not the case.
Thank you.
And we'll take our next question from Dave Borges from New Haven Register. Please go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Just wanted to ask you what Terrence Samuel has meant for your team this year in terms of leadership and production on the court and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, he's done a tremendous job for us. He came here with the hope of, playing a bigger role and playing, significant minutes and so forth. And obviously he's done that. And if you look number-wise, both points and rebounds and shooting percentage and three-point field goal percentage, all those different things, he's having his best year of his career. He's having his best individual year of his career. And, I think, when it comes to what he was looking for, he's definitely got that. Obviously, he is a tremendous young man. He's doing great in the grad program here, doing really well in that. He was a great student at both UConn and at Penn State as well. But he's got the intangibles that you're looking for. He's got, the toughness. He's got leadership ability, and it's difficult. It's difficult to put so much on his shoulders. Well, he was here, 5 weeks before school started. You know what I mean? But he's embraced that, even through the adversity that, the one thing with him and the two other grad players, they knew what they were getting into. They knew we were going to have a tough year, but they wanted to try to at least be part of the building blocks for the future. And I think Terrence has done a great job of kind of being the lead guy in that. So I'm very pleased with what he's done for us this year. And I still think, with the amount of games that we have left, that he can end his career on a really high note. And 2 or 3 years down the road, when we're a much different program, I think he'll take great pride in what he helped us accomplish and what he helped us solidify and act as the foundation for where we move forward to.
Thanks.
Sure.
We'll take our next question from Dom Moore from the Hartford Courant. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Coach. It's more or less off the last question, but can you just talk about the UConn game and give us your thoughts on what you've seen from UConn so far this year?
Sure. I heard the last part of, Mick's comments. They're just one of those teams that has just been decimated with injuries. You know what I mean? And every coach, the hardest part of coaching is when you don't get to coach the team you put together. It's the hardest thing. It really is. Because the guys feel the frustration. You feel the frustration. You've had staff meetings, team meetings. You've prepared since last year for what you're going to do. And then now, bit by bit, you just don't have the tools that you thought you were going to be able to use. At the same time, I think, when you look at it, look at the team and their young guys and the guys they have coming back, they're still, very talented. They're with Jalen Adams, obviously one of the most dynamic guards in the league, with Vital, a kid that, at a drop of a dime can, get 25 points and win the game and make the shots that need to be made. They're just, now with the starting the two freshmen at the 4 and the 5, they're just really young, and because of injuries and because of different things. That's a position that they've been put into, and when you do that, your team is inconsistent, and that's what their team has been. And that's just, again, like we always say, it's a rational explanation. We don't like to make excuses, but that's the reason, with the situation they've been placed in with that, there's going to be inconsistencies. But at the same time, you're talking about as those guys are gaining the experience and guys are playing bigger roles than maybe they would have, been playing. I know Terry's back now playing with the thing on his face, but, he's got a chance as he continues to grow and develop to be one of the premier players in this league, as does Jalen Adams, and because he's already there, so we got to do a great job of, taking care of the ball because their length and athletic ability is typical UConn. and we got to do a great job of, on the defensive end because they got some guys that are very, very explosive.
Yeah, thank you very much, Coach.
You got it.
Well, Coach, I think we've gone past here a lot of times, so I appreciate your
okay.
quick.
That's a first.
Today.
That's a first. Mark it down. Making steps
I
here.
will.
Most questions ever of a South Florida coach. Perfect.
No, it was good. I appreciate it, and best of luck the rest of the month. And if we don't see you before, we'll look forward to seeing you in Orlando at the conference tournament.
You got it, buddy. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks.